This video is not for everyone. If you're comfortable, if you're satisfied, if you believe the path laid out for you is perfect and unquestionable, you should probably leave now. Because what you're about to hear will feel uncomfortable. It will challenge something deep inside you. And if this message reached you 5 years from now, you might defend the very system I'm about to expose. That's how conditioning works. It doesn't just create limits, it creates loyalty to those limits. It turns people into guardians of their own cage. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just see the invisible rules shaping your ambition, your confidence, your intelligence, your fears. You'll see the operating system running beneath your thoughts. And once you see the code, you can rewrite it. Welcome to Dark Mind 999. Chapter 1. The system was never designed for you. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. What if the place you were told would unlock your potential was actually designed to limit it? What if the structure you trusted most wasn't built for your growth, but for predictability? Look around at the design of modern schooling. Bells dictate movement, desks aligned in rows, authority positioned at the front, permission required to speak, standardized measurements applied to every mind. Does that feel like a laboratory of creativity, or does it feel like a production line? Modern compulsory education didn't begin as a freedom project. Its foundations trace back to 19th century Prussia, a nation focused on discipline, efficiency, and national unity. The goal wasn't to cultivate philosophical rebels. It was to create obedient citizens and reliable soldiers. Uniform thinking, uniform timing, uniform response. And that model proved effective, so it spread. Britain adopted it. America industrialized it. The rest of the world normalized it. The bell rings, you move. Not when you're curious, not when you've mastered something, not when your brain is in deep focus, when the system says move. That's conditioning. Rows of desks simulate hierarchy and uniformity. You face forward. You listen. You absorb. Rarely do you design the question. Rarely do you challenge the premise. Standardized testing compresses intelligence into numbers. It doesn't account for cognitive diversity, creative intuition, long-term strategy, or pattern recognition. It rewards short-term recall under pressure. Age-based grouping creates artificial comparison. You are ranked against peers born within a 12-month span, as if intellectual growth follows a calendar instead of curiosity. Deviation triggers correction. Compliance earns reward. Gold stars, GPA, honors. The structure wasn't optimized for creative depth, it was optimized for order, and order is efficient. But efficiency for whom? Chapter 2, Intelligence versus Compliance. You were told something subtle and powerful. If you perform well in school, you're intelligent. If you struggle, you're behind. But pause for a moment. Is intelligence really the ability to temporarily store information and reproduce it under timed conditions? Or is it something deeper? True intelligence reveals itself in ambiguity, in uncertainty, in pattern recognition across unrelated fields, in asking questions others are afraid to ask, in synthesizing philosophy with economics, psychology with technology, biology with strategy. Your GPA measures endurance within a structure. It measures whether you can sit still for extended periods, whether you can memorize information detached from immediate relevance, whether you can meet deadlines defined by someone else's schedule. It does not measure creativity under constraint. It does not measure emotional regulation during chaos. It does not measure strategic foresight. And here's the irony. Students who question assumptions, who explore tangents, who dive deeper than the curriculum allows, often disrupt pacing. They challenge timelines. They complicate grading. And disruption lowers performance. The system claims to value critical thinking, but often penalizes it when it slows uniform progress. So intelligence becomes synonymous with obedience. And obedience becomes mistaken for capability. But they are not the same. Chapter 3. The Linear Path Myth. You were handed a script, study hard, enter a prestigious college, secure a respected career, climb consistently, retire peacefully, a straight line, clean, predictable, responsible, Except life doesn't move in straight lines anymore. Elite universities reject the majority of applicants. Competitive industries receive hundreds of resumes per position. Career fields saturate faster than curricula adapt. The path is narrow, and millions are racing toward it simultaneously. When someone doesn't make it, the blame shifts inward. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't network properly. You lacked discipline. But rarely does anyone question whether the funnel itself is designed to exclude. In any competitive structure, not everyone can win. That's mathematics. Yet culturally, we're told success is universally attainable as long as effort is sufficient. When effort fails to overcome structural bottlenecks, guilt replaces analysis, and guilt keeps you compliant. Because if the failure is personal, there's no need to examine the system. Chapter 4. Training for a world that's gone. The world evolves exponentially. Technology accelerates. Industries disrupt themselves. Information becomes instantly accessible, yet educational structures change slowly. Memorization dominates evaluation, even though facts are searchable in seconds. Meanwhile, the real-world advantages belong to those who adapt rapidly, communicate clearly, synthesize broadly, and learn independently. Automation replaces repetition. Artificial intelligence replaces routine cognition. What remains valuable? Creative problem solving, strategic foresight, emotional intelligence, entrepreneurial initiative, digital leverage. These aren't easily standardized. They're difficult to grade uniformly, so they receive minimal emphasis. Independence destabilizes control, and systems rarely encourage traits that reduce reliance on them. Chapter 5. Question everything except this. Debate is encouraged, but within safe boundaries. Political parties. Historical interpretations. Literary symbolism. But question grading metrics? Question curriculum relevance? Question why memorization outweighs application? Suddenly, discomfort emerges. Students who challenge pacing are labeled distracted. Students who push beyond material are told to stay on track. Students who ask why too often are seen as disruptive. There is tolerance for controlled disagreement, but resistance towards structural critique. Why? Because questioning the framework threatens stability, and stability maintains predictability. The system prefers curiosity, contained, not curiosity, unleashed. Chapter 6. The comfort of the cage. Here's the part few admit. The conventional path feels safe. It's socially validated. Parents approve. Peers relate. Metrics are visible. You know what progress looks like. Step off that path. Uncertainty replaces clarity. No defined milestones. No guaranteed applause. No fallback narrative of I followed instructions. So many choose comfort over autonomy. A practical degree over passion. A stable job over alignment. Security over sovereignty. And slowly, they convince themselves the compromise was maturity. Eventually, they defend the structure that constrained them. Because admitting misalignment requires confronting regret. And regret is painful, so the cage becomes normalized. Chapter 7. The hidden curriculum. There's another education running parallel, rarely formalized. Meta-learning. Understanding how your brain encodes, stores, retrieves, and connects information. Strategic foresight. Modeling second and third order consequences before acting. System awareness. Identifying incentive structures and power dynamics beneath visible rules. Persuasion. Mastering communication, narrative framing, emotional resonance. Economic literacy. Understanding value creation versus time for money exchange. Self-directed education. Building skill without external validation. These modules determine leverage in the modern world, yet they're often self-taught, because individuals who master them become less dependent, and dependency sustains systems. Chapter 8. Play the game without becoming it. If you're inside the system, use it. Credentials are keys, but they are not identity. Complete requirements strategically. Maintain acceptable performance, but invest equally or more into parallel development. Read beyond assigned texts. Study psychology. Study negotiation. Study behavioral economics. Study systems thinking. Build skills that compound. Writing clearly. Speaking persuasively. Thinking structurally. Creating value digitally. 5 years from now, forgotten exam scores won't define you. But intellectual agility will. Chapter 9. Proof over permission. Modern credibility doesn't rely solely on transcripts, it relies on evidence. Projects, portfolios, demonstrated outcomes. Create something tangible, launch something small, build something imperfect, document your progress. One meaningful creation can outweigh theoretical distinction because results communicate louder than credentials. Permission is requested. Proof is undeniable. Chapter 10. High agency thinking. Most people wait for instruction, for opportunity, for ideal conditions. High agency individuals act. They identify inefficiencies. They initiate solutions. They assume responsibility without waiting to be selected. They don't rebel recklessly. They move strategically. Responsibility replaces excuse. Ownership replaces dependency. And gradually, leverage replaces vulnerability. Chapter 11. The Crossroads. You stand at a choice. Path 1. Predictable. Validated. Crowded. Path 2. Uncertain. Self-directed. Less traveled. The first optimizes for comfort and conformity. The second optimizes for adaptability and autonomy. Neither guarantees ease, but only one guarantees ownership. Ownership of failure. Ownership of success. Ownership of identity. And ownership changes everything. Chapter 12. The door was always open. The cage was psychological. It existed in assumptions inherited without examination, in definitions of success borrowed without questioning, in fear of standing alone. But the door was never locked. It only required awareness. Step through and uncertainty greets you. But so does possibility. No guaranteed applause, no guaranteed protection. But authentic alignment. Education is not the memorized fact. It's the cognitive framework that remains after facts fade. You were taught what to think. Now teach yourself how to think. Conclusion. If something inside you shifted while watching this, that discomfort is awareness. And awareness is power. Subscribe to Darkmind 999. Because we don't just analyze systems here, we decode them. And next time, we go deeper. The door is open. Walk through it.